There we're live. Perfect. Okay, let's see if it's going live on the other side. Let's see. It is. It's always a little. It says it's waiting.
Pure magic.
It's waiting on this other one over here. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm going live because it says we're live. There it goes. There it goes. Okay, so welcome to Getting Started with Applied Digital Skills, part of the Grow with Google program. I'm your host, Chris Bell, and I have a great guest with us for a portion of our evening tonight. And what we're going to be covering is a couple of things, just learning a little bit more about Google's Applied Digital Skills program, and then also just walking you through getting started with the curriculum, talking about some additional resources that can help you in your classroom. And then also a little highlight, we'll be kind of highlighting some of the aspects of Applied Digital Skills Week, which will be running next week, October 8th through 12th. So resources for our webinar, it's a slide deck that you have access to. It's got open access. And if you go to edtech.team/APSKI, APSKI, October 3rd, OCT3. I put the link into the live chat. I can't put URLs in YouTube Live. They do not like that. So they block any URL posting. So just eliminate that space there in the posting that I put there. So just a couple of quick housekeepings. This webinar is brought to you by Grow with Google, part of Google for Education. I am Chris Bell. I'm the Chief Operating Officer with EdTechTeam, and I have a special guest tonight, one of our program managers with the Applied Digital Skills program. The session resources, once again, are listed there on the screen. What you'll need to do is open that Google slide deck, and you'll have access to all of the links. You also have a link to a form. You'll get a chance to win a free online course from our from our online course catalog, and lots of great opportunities to learn more about different Google tools and applying them in your classroom. I am Chris Bell with EdTechTeam. I'm the Chief Operating Officer, and I'm based in Irvine, California. I'm a former classroom teacher at all different levels, and also worked in school administration and had the sincere pleasure of deploying lots and lots of Chromebooks while I was at Saddleback Valley Unified. Worked with a great group of people out there, and we experimented a lot and did a lot of great things, so I enjoyed that. You can find me on Twitter at cbell619. And tonight I have Shahla Namie, Program Manager with Grow with Google and Google for Education. And before she gets started kind of sharing a little bit about the program specifically and the curriculum, I just had a few questions for you. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Where are you based at?
So I am based in our New York office in the sort of Chelsea market area.
Fantastic. And so how long have you been with Google?
So I've been with Google for, I would say, just over a year. I think I started in June of last year, June of 2017. And I started actually in our California office and then shifted over to New York earlier this year.
Oh, that's fantastic. So I'm sure it's everyone's dream to work at Google, especially the teachers that really love Google for Education and all the things that they have to offer. What excites you most about working at Google?
So that's a really good question. I think probably what excites me the most are actually the moments I get to spend with teachers. There are days like today where I spend all day in an office, and that's great. But really, when we get to go to either professional development trainings, or we get to visit a school, or even when we get an email through our help page, it's really wonderful just to get a sense of how teachers are taking the Applied Digital Skills curriculum, customizing it for their specific students. And sharing with us some of the projects, sharing with us some of the feedback they have. I think for me, it's really remarkable to see the same unit used in language arts classes, business classes, technology classes, even culinary arts classes. So to be able to actually get a sense of how they customize it is really cool. So it's always fun to talk to teachers, I would say.
It's fantastic. So Because I'm a lifelong learner and I'm always learning, what's something that you feel like you've learned while working at Google?
I feel like I've learned a lot. Maybe one thing I've learned actually recently, even using applied digital skills, when our curriculum team first developed the create an editing tool with programming unit, I actually sat down and took that lesson like I do every other lesson. And for those who aren't sort of familiar with that lesson, what you do is a student kind of learns basic coding concepts and creates an automated editing program that does things like highlight overused words on a paper. And that was a really fun way for me to both kind of learn some Google Apps script, which I hadn't used before. But was also a good way for me to see that there are some words like yup and tend to, and also that I use, I think, a lot more than I thought I did. I also use a lot of exclamation points. So it was fun to learn both that and then also to learn some app script along the way.
That's fantastic. I know that there's a lot of teachers that have been diving into app scripts, and it's fun to stretch ourselves and learn these different things and see where we can go. Any questions for me before we get started?
Well, you've been traveling a lot. What are some of the places you've been to recently that you really like?
I had the chance to go to Singapore. That was my second trip to Singapore. We were working out there with international schools, and just amazing to meet the different educators in the community globally. Trying to do so many different things, and you get into different countries and you find there's so many similar challenges that teachers face. So there's a lot of real commonalities, whether you're in the United States or Canada, or you get over to Europe or Southeast Asia. And then, I just had the fortune of being in Hawaii last week, so that's always nice. My wife is always jealous when I go to Hawaii.
Also jealous
But
to go to Hawaii for the record.
but I would like to throw that out to the audience. Where's everybody at today? What are some places that we're checking in from? Give a little bit of wait time there. I currently am in Minneapolis, St. Paul, specifically Edina, which is just right there. And I get to head home tomorrow. So I'm excited for a layover at home for a few days.
That's all you can ask for a layover. Ideal place is home.
Hi, Susan. South Carolina. Where specifically in South Carolina? And Cindy, you're in Chicago, and Charles is in Virginia. Lynn is in New York State. Hello from Minneapolis,
Cool.
and obviously New York. So South Carolina, I've only been to South Carolina once. Anderson. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I believe we just worked with Anderson. I think Anderson 5. We had a team out there just a couple of days ago. And they said they had a fantastic time working with the teachers there, and how they were great.
And we actually have a fairly large chunk of the Applied Digital Skills team is based in Moncks Corner in South Carolina.
I didn't know that.
Our very famous actor who you see in many of the videos, Kamar Galloway, is actually based in South Carolina. So Susan's got some other individuals down there with her.
That's fantastic. Let's see. We've got Roseville, California, New Mexico. Amanda's in Columbia. I had to say I got to visit Columbia last year, and it was a beautiful town. Lots of great places to visit, walk, history. There's so much there. So what I'd like to do now, thank you all for checking in. What I'd like to do is then just give the mic to Shahla and kind of tell us a little bit more about what Applied Digital Skills is and why Google is doing this.
That's a great question. Well, I guess maybe I will start with the what it is. So for those on the call or on the webinar who might not be familiar with Applied Digital Skills, it's a free online digital skills curriculum. So it's sort of exactly what the name says it is. It's a digital skills curriculum that you apply. And the way it works is it uses videos to help students develop projects. And that student can be a middle school student, that student can be an adult learner, it can really be anybody. But the curriculum is very focused on enabling students to develop real life projects using those digital skills. So they create resumes, they plan events, they tell stories, they develop alternative histories, and they do a whole host of things, big and small, that they can kind of practice using different digital tools. So in this way, they're not only learning and practicing digital skills, but they're also actually applying them in real life and job scenarios. So that's sort of what applied digital skills is in a nutshell. And it comes, as Chris, you mentioned, it comes from our Grow with Google initiative, which our CEO announced last October.
Mhm.
And it's a large initiative and investment that Google is making in helping Americans specifically apply for jobs, find jobs, and prepare for jobs, in addition to helping small businesses grow. So it's a lot of different really cool tools, and Applied Digital Skills is really squarely in that bucket of helping people apply for or prepare for jobs using different digital skills.
So with that, in your role at Google, sorry to jump in your role at Google, how are you using a lot of the things that you see in the lessons in your daily job?
So we use almost all of them. It's actually pretty remarkable. But the curriculum actually uses a number of different tools, including G Suite.
Hmm.
So we use Google Docs. We're actually right now, since it's October, we're kind of looking at our 2019 planning. So we're going into Google Docs and Sheets, and we're all collaborating on the same documents. We're creating our budgets for the next year, and we're doing that, not dissimilar from the folks on the call, but across a lot of different time zones.
Hmm.
All of those take very particular digital skills, and digital skills used both, here at Google at the workplace, but also in, specifically a collaborative environment. So that collaborative environment can be in a classroom, or it can be on the job, or even both. So we use a lot of the different tools, but we also work really closely with teachers to better understand, what their students need and what they need from us in the process. So we do a number of professional development trainings. We'll host webinars and work with partners like yourselves to also host webinars and spread the word. But we also put a number of resources online, like our back to school kit, our help page, and a lot of other really cool resources. My favorite resource is actually, if you go to the website and you click teachers, you will see a number of spotlights from teachers. And these are teachers who have taken the curriculum and used it with their students in really creative and interesting ways. So they've been kind enough to share with us some of the ways they've customized the lesson plans that we have, and ways that their students have used the different lessons to actually create projects. So that's really my favorite. And I'll just sort of put like a shameless plug in there that we're always looking for more stories. So if you're using the curriculum and you want to share how you're using it, please just like send us a quick note at applieddigitalskills@google.com. And we have a really amazing team of curriculum developers who actually reply to those emails and bring it to our attention as well.
That's fantastic. Anything else you'd like to share about apps, or as we commonly call it, AppSki?
I think that's all. I think that we're really excited about Applied Digital Skills Week. It's a wonderful way, I think, for us to have a concentrated week when teachers who might have been thinking about using applied digital skills can really just give it a try, one day at a time, one step at a time. So we're excited to hear what everyone does. So please share with us and share on social media. Just make sure you tag us and EdTechTeam to let us know how you're using the curriculum. And my favorite thing is give us feedback on the curriculum and new things that you want to see in it, because we're always looking for good ideas.
Yeah, what's impressive is, from the time that I first interacted with this curriculum when it came out to now, there is so much more that's been added, and it keeps getting better and better and better. And the alignment to the different state standards that's happening, there's just a lot that's there that is, I can take it as a teacher and just start using it. And I think that's important because you're not having to spend as much time investing in the ramp up of using the curriculum as you would with other things. So I think that's important. Well, any parting thoughts? I know you have to get out of here. We appreciate your time.
No, thank
Questions
you.
from the audience for Shahla. Let's see if anybody has a question for Shahla. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries. Yeah, I love questions. Let's hopefully some people have some questions.
I'm looking. Let's see. We're waiting on the live chat. This is
Pressure is
this is, this is wait time in the classroom.
on.
But how many students are using the curriculum right now? Do you know
So
that?
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I believe it's over 250,000 students using it. The
That's
curriculum
fantastic.
right now is only in English,
Hmm.
and yeah, there are teachers in every single state using the curriculum, which for us is super exciting. They're
Well,
waiting to see it everywhere from Hawaii to New York.
that's fantastic. Well, it looks like we don't have any questions, but I appreciate your time. What we'll do right now is transition, and I'm going to be walking everyone through getting started with the curriculum, kind of talk about some of the resources that are available.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Chris, for having me, and thanks everyone for joining for this YouTube Live.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Shahla. All right. So once again, we have our session resources. And Susan, it's a great question. Students with learning differences and hoping to help them learn more digital skills. I would say that there are quite a number of the curriculum that is adaptable to their learning needs. Specifically, what I'll talk about when I get into the curriculum itself is highlighting some of the feature sets that are in there. The ability to pause videos, the ability to have it play in closed captions, the fact that many of them are step by step by step is really important. So I'll talk about that in just a moment. Little plug to make sure that you access the session resources at the URL on the screen above. And then once you complete the link to the form, it'll actually capture your email information and we can select you. I'll be drawing for some prizes at the end of this webinar. So just to recap what Shahla had shared, it's a free video-based online curriculum, and it really is designed to develop basic digital skill sets that they believe are going to be important. And as Shahla had mentioned, one thing that is really important to recognize is for those that are often working in outside of schools, and schools we're collaborating and doing a lot of things. And when you step out of that and you see how businesses are applying and using digital skills, it's kind of staggering on a daily basis, the amount of video conferences and collaboration I'm participating in with people from Australia and the UK and all these different places. It's not something we were prepared for in school. And so we kind of had to learn as we go. And what is nice is being able to have curriculum that really adapts to where things are headed. So as Shahla had mentioned, it's really project-based. So similar to, and has anyone ever done project-based learning in their classroom or is doing project-based learning? I used to have projects with my students with Google Apps before it was called G Suite. And I'd have them doing spreadsheet-based activities where they were learning budgets and they were learning how to do those things. But I didn't have a real curriculum built around it. The projects are real authentic. They're not they're fake. They're not fake, and allows for students to really immerse themselves in creation, which I think is an important thing to give students the opportunity to do that. The other piece of it is that you are introducing them to things that you may not have experience with, and what is the fantastic part of that is specifically that there are lesson plans and resources, learning objectives, and everything kind of mapped out for you. And I'll show you that in just a moment, and how that makes your job a little bit easier. Cindy, let's go ahead and submit another one if you want to. Should be able to submit another one, but maybe not. Cindy, I'll add your name on the backside if you're not showing up there. So the project-based learning, so these are the practical life skills on the right-hand side that are really highlighted as they're developing their digital skills. Digital skills they're experiencing are built around website publishing, document formatting, etc. Things that we're teaching in many of our classes or not teaching, depending on how much time and resources we have available. there are over 120 hours of curriculum, and that's expanding. So what everything is broken out into is units and lessons, and you can plug in different activities at any time. So once again, they're modular, or it could be a full curriculum. Hi, Kim. Welcome. So if you're interested, they are aligned to the ISTE standards. So they've got the ISTE seal of alignment, and the curriculum is also aligned to many state standards, with more coming. So be on the lookout for that. You'll be able to filter by standards and plug in something that you're looking to solve in your class. All right, thanks, Cindy. I'll make sure that you're eligible at the end, okay? So sample lessons, if then adventure stories, create a presentation all about a topic, put in timelines. The timeline estimates are broken out pretty well. Creating an editing tool with programming, combining Google Docs and app scripts. Oh, bummer. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll correct something, Lynn, on my end and redo that. So right at the end, I'll give a little bit of wait time. I'll update the link, make sure it's not a problem, and then give it a test. So what we'll do is I'm going to dive into how to get started with applied digital skills. That link at the bottom, get started today at edtech.team/digital skills, will actually take you to the website, and I'll show you what website we are looking at. So just one moment, let me switch out here, and gonna shift gears on my screen sharing. Let me stop screen sharing. Oops. There we go. Okay, so let me screen share here. Sorry about the dual cameras. Okay, let's see if this works. How's that? There we go. So applied digital skills, if you go to the URL that was showing up on our screen there, sorry about the tunnel vision there. And to sign up, you'll need to sign in with your school or district G Suite account. You can sign up with a personal account. Something to note, though, that you'll want students to log in, because that way you can track student progress. So to sign up, click sign up. And select your account. And they'll ask you to complete a profile. I've already completed my profile, and that profile would look like this. So it first ask me whether I'm a student or a teacher. You'll select teacher. Obviously, students would select students. And then there are some details on there. One thing you can request is a free poster for your class if you're in the United States. And you'll see a quick form to fill out, and you can select that and get a free poster for your classroom, which is a great offer. So on our home page here, we have our list of classes. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to create a class. And so similar to Google Classroom, we have a nice button with the material design button, and I click add a class. And so depending upon how you structure it, it's generally recommended that you create a class for each class period that you teach. Or if you're an upper elementary teacher, then I would recommend just obviously naming it your class. So I'm going to call it, I'm section 1001, Bell Digital Skills, or whatever your class name is. Be sure to select middle and high school, because that way when you filter for classes, it's actually going to show you some different things. Create the class. And then here we are. So students would actually sign up using the class code that will show up. That class code, when they log in, select that they're a student, it'll ask them if they want to join a class, and the class code that you have here displayed in your class is the one that you would want to use. So currently, I don't have any lessons in my class. To add a lesson, I click the Add Lessons button, and it shows me the entire curriculum. So I can scroll through here and see the different activities that are available. Technology, I can view them. Let's look at Plan an Event. I'll view. And as we look at it, I go, okay, this is something I may want to have my students work on. I could sample any of the lessons. I won't do that for you right now, but I would kind of highlight it really quick here. Let's see, I just don't want that video to play yet. There we go. So this gives a video overview, and then the students would click next. The students can slow the speed down or speed it up, and can also turn captions on. And so when the captions are on, the captions will be displayed. And this is a really, really essential resource and tool for second language learners or even developing readers. If you have low Wi-Fi issues, you could also download the video and have access to that video offline. And then the transcript button below actually will highlight the words as it's going through the segment. So let's see if I can show an example of that.
In this unit, you'll use the G Suite to choose and organize an event. You'll choose and research an event, organize tasks in a shared to-do list, communicate with an event team.
So you can see that it's highlighting that transcript. It's giving us, or the students, the resources they need to be successful. Go back. And each unit is broken out in a series of activities where they often create a doc. It's scaffolded. And then they have a reflection activity at the end of each lesson. So the unit Plan an Event has, let's see how many here, total of seven lessons. And again, each one has an activity reflection. The lesson plans that are incorporated into the class are here. Let me open that link in a new tab. And I can actually see a fully broken out scope and sequence for the activities that the students would be engaged in. So if you look here, we're looking at the learning objectives of what students should be able to do. Total duration, expected time, and you can chunk it out. You know, you got 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, an entire class period, however you want to break that down. The materials needed, so you're going to need a computer with internet access per student, or you could buddy them up. Honestly, I mean, it's really your preference. But if you have a limited number of computers, you could buddy them. Headphones per student, just so they can listen to the videos. Otherwise, it gets a little chaotic in your classroom. And then students having their G Suite account. And so each of the lesson, you get kind of a outline of the unit. And then if you look at, let's see, let's open that up. So each lesson then has learning objectives, terms and concepts that in the vocabulary that students should be able to walk away with, example projects, so let's pull up this example project. And this is what this example project might look like that your students would create. The project evaluation rubric, which is customizable. So I could take this custom rubric, delete the ones that I don't really care about, and I can add more to the bottom of the rubric. So I can add my own categories. I can add levels performance. Yes, Cindy, that's a great question. So when I'll come back to that in just a second. Let me get to that when I talk about it. What you will want to do is assign these. Okay, create a class, but you understand. Okay, good. So I'm going to go back to my classes. I create a class, and the classes will essentially where I assign work to my students. So when I go into here, I'm going to add lessons for my class. I will assign to them this unit. I'll add to class. and select the class I want to assign it to. And now when I go into there, that is broken out as a discrete unit for students to have access to. So when students come in, this has been assigned to them in their class. Now, the question was from Cindy was, can you share to Google Classroom? Yes, absolutely. So let's go back into the curriculum, add lessons. And if I want to share some very specific things, let me view. I can share to Classroom. And so this will populate. And if I have Google Classroom set up and I use it with my students, then I can actually share that directly into my class. This is where, if you're using Google Classroom as kind of your central point of access for everything, the students should go into Google Classroom, click the link that you provided to them, and that will take them then into the Applied Digital Skills classroom. So with this, once my students have access to it, they'll work through it and they'll see a checklist of progression on their side. So they'll see these units marked off as they go. And if I go to my classes, I can actually see how students are progressing. So let's look here. Let's see if I have any progress on this account. Okay, so here's an example. Obviously, these students have been accessed these in a while. What happens is the check mark shows what they've completed, and the map shows where they're at. So as students are progressing through a unit, whatever's been assigned to them, they'll have a progression chart. So part of it is the reason we want to make sure that we assign the lessons in the Applied Digital Skills class is because then I can track progress over time. You can also filter by the different topics. And if I assign research and develop a topic, then my students can access that. And also I can check learning progress against it. So there's a lot of great different resources built into that to allow you to track where students are going. In general, the curriculum, when we look at the curriculum, I can also filter by audience. And it says middle school and high school, but you can also be upper elementary. Yes, they still, Cindy, they would still access the Applied Digital Skills site, and then they would sign up with the class code. It would be a one-time only process, very similar to adding them to Google Classroom. And then once they're started, you could basically have them access a link to Applied Digital Skills in your Google Classroom at any time. So I can filter by state standards. Let's see what we've got here. Let's look at South Carolina and see what we've got. 8th, 7th grade. So we've got digital literacy standards for South Carolina, multimedia basics, and I can even filter down to very specific standards. So lots of different ways to break those filters out. Note that not all states are currently aligned, but is my understanding they're working to complete those additional alignments. Okay, questions? Something I want to share, I'll shift gears over to another screen really quickly. All of these different, let's see, turn that off, stop screen sharing, there we go. So one of the things that Google is consistently doing is building out additional resources for teachers. So let's see here. Is this screen sharing? It is not. Come on, play nice with me. This is what happens when you do it in front of a live audience. There we go. Okay, so the Applied Digital Skills resources that are available. As Shahla had mentioned, there's a back to school kit. Obviously, back to school is almost over at this point in most places, I would hope. But there's some great resources. There's printable resources that you can use, suggested starter lessons, handouts, and then some step-by-step instructions. So if you go to the Applied Digital Skills website, you'll be able to find all of those. There's a nice header on the main homepage, and that will get you everything you need for that back to school kit. The other thing that we did, so what EdTechTeam has been doing has been working with Google specifically around how do we integrate this into classrooms in a meaningful way. So specifically, the things that we saw were some potential challenges around how teachers would envision utilizing it. So how do I use this in a math classroom, or how might I use this in my social studies classroom? So what we did was we worked with teachers who have been using the curriculum to develop little mini email courses. And so these are subject-specific email courses that are really designed to give you 5 days of how you might use this in the second language learners class, with supporting second language learners, or integrating it into the English classroom or the science classroom. And so if we look here, we can see use digital skills to enhance your English lessons. Monica Willis, English teacher turned computer science teacher, talks and shares ideas and lessons in a quick, easy email once a day on how to help you integrate it into that classroom. Amanda Alford, a science teacher out of Indiana, basically has taken this and applied it in her science classrooms. So how do you take some of the concepts that you're doing or that they're teaching, these skills, and apply them or remix them in your science classroom? Natalia Lemoyne did a great little course with us and even did a webinar a couple weeks ago or last month on using it for second language learner supports. Customizing applied digital skills for upper elementary students with Rosalinda James. And Micah Shippey, PhD, is applying applied digital skills in the social studies classroom. So there's a lot of different ways and opportunities that you can experience applied digital skills, both as a teacher and as a student. So coming up next week, as I mentioned before, we have Applied Digital Skills Week. We're celebrating applied digital skills, and every single day we'll have new and different things. So if you go to that sign up button, you'll be able to sign up and you'll get all the updates every single day in your inbox. Each day we'll be releasing tips and tricks from teacher experts that have used it in their classroom, different from the email courses that are coming out. Step-by-step instructions, again, on getting started. So taking a little bit further than what I just shared and really digging into some of the tips and tricks and the things to look for. And then each day there are fun challenges that you can enter to win a $25 Amazon gift card each day. So we'll be giving away cards to everyone who completes the challenges and posts to social media using the hashtags. So we encourage you to sign up to receive those daily challenges. We're excited by it, and we know there's a lot of fun things that we're going to have going on next week. We'll also have a webinar at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the 10th, and I'll have Monica Willis and I'll have a number of other teachers who will be joining me to talk about what they've been doing with applied digital skills, how things are going, the things they've run into, and really just helping teachers really conceptualize, how do I do something like this when I've already got so much going on? So with that, what I'd like to do is I'm going to reset that form right now for everybody on the Hangout. Just one moment. Let me stop my screen share. Oh, actually, I don't need to stop my screen share. Just bear with me here. Let me fix that link, and that way everyone can be entered to win. So while you're doing that, what other questions do you have? Has anybody gotten started using applied digital skills? Anything you're looking for with applied digital skills? All right, let's see here. Where's my form? We got some of them, but not everybody. Okay. So form, go edit form. There we go. As I talk myself through this, bear with me here. I'm going to modify. Huh. Okay. So I fixed the link. Fantastic, Charles. So go ahead and try that link again. And I corrected it. I made a modification. Just try refreshing the page. See if I can give you a short URL too. How about that? I'll make everybody's life easier. So let's use bit.ly/AppSkiWin. I like that. Okay. So let's try this again. bit.ly/, I'm going to put a space because AppSki, or I'm sorry, YouTube Live does not like URLs. And so if you go bit.ly/AppSkiWin, make sure you remove that space, otherwise it won't work. And that'll allow you to enter into the Google form. Susan, all right, sharing the ELL info. Also, did you see the post right above, Gilda? In the chat on the right side? Should have been right above your post. How about this? How about I modify our slide here and just put it in front of everybody? The perils of technology sometimes. This URL right here, AppSkiWin. Let's see if that works. All right, I just updated it. Perfect. All right, hopefully everybody gets in it. I want people to have everyone to be entered to win. All right, we got more people entered. Fantastic, fantastic. And okay, so I'm going to add some names to our Ninja Picker. And Gilda, I'll put you in there. That way I know that you are that you're in here. Let's see. And Len, because you're live, I can do this manually. So make all our lives easier. All right. Okay. So what I am going to do is I'm going to pick 3 winners. And what you'll need to do is email me after this. Just email me and confirm. Chris@edtechteam.com. So doesn't want to. Yes, Susan, yours came through. And I believe we got everybody in here. Yep, we are good. Sweet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw the names, but I am going to first share a couple of things. So what we would like you to do is to learn more and stay connected with us, follow us on Twitter if you're not already following us at EdTechTeam. And join our community at EdTechTeam on Google+. We're also on Facebook. And then our blog at edtechteam.com. If you visit our blog, we have a lot of different applied digital skills blog posts talking about applied digital skills, integrating to applied digital skills, and much more beyond that. Well beyond that, integrating G Suite, pedagogy, I mean, you name it. So we encourage you to sign up and stay connected to us by visiting our website. And then the other thing is on this Google slide deck that's located at that address, edtech.team. /AppSki Oct 3rd. So AppSki October 3rd. The link to the archive webinar will be there. So if you want to share it with others who may not have made it to the event, or people in your district, if you want to share talking more about what AppSki is. You also can request a workshop and even request a professional development certificate for an hour of professional development. So with that, I'll run my Ninja Picker over on my side. The drum roll, please. And I'm going to pick 3 winners. So the first winner will be, or is, first winner is Susan Smith. So Susan, you'll be a winner. You'll hear from me. And next winner is Gilda Garrido. So Gilda, make sure to email me. I believe I have your email address, but make sure that you send me an email. And then our last winner will be, let's see here, Anna Porta. So Anna, Susan, and Gilda, look for an email from me introducing you to our online learning team, Tracy Purdy and Dominique. And what they'll do is they'll give you a catalog that you can choose from and select one of the online courses. You can take that, and if you want to also add graduate credit, you could do that for an additional fee. So with that end, I will go ahead and sign off. If you have any other questions, please reach out to us at our blog or at my email address, which is listed early on in this webinar. The other thing that I would like to say is please, just like Shahla had said, if you have great stories of how students are experiencing it, if you have ideas on making the curriculum better, be sure to reach out to us, because we're constantly working with Google to make these things fantastic and a great resource for the classroom. All right. Well, thank you all. We hope you have an enjoyable rest of your evening. We're halfway through the week and just a couple more days. So hopefully everyone's having a great school year so far, and we look forward to seeing how you use applied digital skills in your classroom. All right. Thank you all. We're signing off. Have a great evening.